Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I'm your melanated queen and your hostess, Lil Foxy, aka Seven Wonder. What's up? I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming into the building. This is an impromptu session. This is something I wanted to do for you all. We're going to be looking at Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper, you all. Because I want to start getting into the what's good, got him. Hey, love, how are you? I wanted to start getting into, some of these articles, some of these books. You all want to talk about COINTELPRO. Last night, I was looking into how they infiltrated the Black Panther movement. I was looking into a whole lot of stuff, you all. And because I don't know if I'm going to be able to host F Your Feelings Friday tomorrow, because I have to do something. My sister is having an engagement, you all, and she wants me there. So I might not be in the building, but I plan on what's good, knowledge seeker. I plan on actually hosting FEO Feelings Friday. You all, if you want me to talk about anything in particular, please type it out in the chat. But as always, I love every time you come through, you all. I want to get into this book. Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. I think that this is still prevalent today because we still see it taking place, you all. But before I get into it, you know how we do. We're going to bow our heads and join our hands over here, and we're going to give thanks. We're going to get into it. I'm not going to keep you too long because I got some stuff to do, y'all. I've been a little busy today. Hope you all have been having a wonderful day today as well. Okay. All right. So go ahead. Let's come on. You know what we're doing. We're going to church, y'all. Let the church say amen. We're going to bow our heads, join our hands. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today because we want to give thanks. What are we giving thanks for? Our health, okay? The fact that we can see, speak, hear. We have all our five senses. Some of us have our sixth sense, okay? Some of us are awake up in here. You know what I'm saying? All the people that come to this channel are pretty much awake. So I thoroughly enjoy you all. You said, please don't stop F Your Feelings Friday. I'm not knowledge seeker. Thank you. We hit episode 10 last week. So shout out to you all for that. Um, what I want to do is continue giving thanks. Okay. We're going to give thanks for the fact that we're able to breathe on our own, the fact that we have all the necessities, the fact that we have food to nourish our bodies. You know what I'm saying? These little simple things that a lot of people take for granted, okay? And I think sometimes we get so caught up in being greedy as Americans here. We don't understand how good we actually have it. You all, I was watching some stuff last night on YouTube over in Lagos, Lagos, Africa, and even what they consider as luxury. I was looking at that property like I don't even think I would want to stay there. I'd rather stay in my house, y'all. And I hate to be that way. But, I just think we take so much for granted, even running water, to have warm water every time we turn the faucet on. Some people don't even have working bathrooms. Some people just don't have what we have. And, we are very fortunate. We are kind of like rich compared to other countries, you all. And I guess we get out of understanding that because we're always comparing ourselves to other people. So, got him, you laughing at me? Look, I got to just tell you this. I might divert off of Behold a Pale Horse for a second because I got to tell you, it's got him. Seriously, y'all, I was looking at these hotels that they were showing, and I should pull this up on my channel. And some of that stuff that I was looking at, I just was like, I couldn't get into it. In the words of LaShawn the Don, I couldn't get jiggy with that SHIT, y'all. I'm sorry to say it. And I don't want to act like I'm any better because it's not even about that. It's just like I don't feel that when I go to a hotel room, it's sanitary if it's too many patterns because I can't see if it's dirty. I like everything white, crisp, and clean. I like to be able to see what's going on in the hotel room. You said it's no air conditioning. Yo, I saw, look, for real, I saw where they had those like units that actually hang on the wall, and they were air conditioned units. And I'm like, wait a minute, so they don't have centralized air? I mean, am I being bougie, y'all? I just hope I'm not. But Look, I have gotten used to my Americanized custom ways, okay? So I just can't help it. But anyway, it's a lot that we take for granted, y'all. So I just want to say, even though it seems like it's rough and tough, y'all, let's rock out. Let's rock out. Let's be rough and tough with our Afro puffs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lady of Rage or whoever sung that song. But let's get into it. All right. So I want to you said no AC. I'll stay home. See, I got them. I didn't even know that they didn't have AC. Like seriously, I thought they had some form of AC. And when they showed the kitchen area, he basically was like, "Oh, it was like a watermelon and an orange and an apple, and they had like some utensils and stuff." And I'm like, "That kitchen looks so basic." You know what I'm saying? Like I was not impressed. I'm sorry. I just hate to be that way, y'all. I should pull it up. But if you ever get a chance, check out those other countries. Like when they show you the luxurious living in these cities, like different places in Africa, because Africa is actually massive, you all. I've spoken to Africans. I always like to speak to people from different nations, different countries, every chance I get, and I always ask them, "What brought you here to America?" A lot of them say the same thing. They wanted a better life. They are coming here for war. You all, I had a dermatologist, the girl that used to work at the dermatologist where I used to go. She was from Bosnia, and I said, "What brought you here?" And she said, "War." I remember I met a group of South Africans, and they were at the bus stop. I was dropping someone off. I said, "What brought you here?" They said, "War." So you all, we are very fortunate. Despite all of this racism mess that they push over here, despite how we get mistreated by this freaking stupid government, y'all, we have a lot of luxuries, and we actually have it well. I'm going to play this little clip for you because I saved this, y'all. This was a guy I met out in, let's see, this was Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I just interviewed him, and I asked him a few questions about how does the people in Somalia treat their women, okay? And so he shared that with me. So I'm going to play this. So, all the women out there, do not close yourselves to other people from other countries. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not getting it with these American men, the Somali men will embrace you. And this is what he had to say, you all. They treat very nice, very well. We respect our women. We don't, you know, we don't send them for hard working, except the house, the housekeeping. We let them to, look after the children, work in the house, but, we don't let them to go outside and work hard. Right. So actually we treat well, we are bad for one thing, we don't know how to cook or how to, clean, but, we always like to respect, our women's. Yeah, and that's Somali men. Somali men, yeah. Okay. That's a Somali man. Thank you. Thank you so much. I apologize. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know you're fine. Yeah. Thanks. Oh. All right. So you just heard it. That was the Uber driver. He said, Somali men, we respect our women. Okay. He said that the men don't really know how to cook and clean. That's for the women. Okay. But other than that, she could stay home. She could be a housewife, you all. So for all of you out there dealing with those scrubs, you can get rid of them and go get you a Somali man. Okay. Because he will work. He will drive Uber to provide a way of living for you all. Okay. All right, so let's get into it, you all. I'm going to actually go over this book, Behold a Pale Horse. I'm going to share my screen, you all, if you want to see this. All right, so let's share the screen. Okay, window to the wall. All right, and I got a few books on the bookshelf. Did I get this from Kindle? I think so. So let me see here. Let me see if this is the book that I got from Kindle. Yeah, here it is. Behold a Pale Horse. As you can see, okay, here it is. This is a good read. I read this book in like literally one day because I was just so intrigued. Okay, when I'm into a book, I will sit with that book and read it in its entirety until I'm done with that book. And it's been a while since I actually read it. So this is, let me stop sharing. So that's why I wanted to review it again. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. You all, actually going to be sharing this information from one of my other YouTube channels. Okay, but please feel free to join in the chat. Okay, so sit back and enjoy the ride, you all. We're going to get in on "Behold a Pale Horse" by yours truly, William Cooper. And I think I went over this back in September 2021 for all of you who are not subscribed to my other YouTube channel, because I had gotten stricken, or I had the STRIKE on this one. So I had to develop another YouTube channel, and I wanted to just, do a live stream on it. And so I felt like this was some good information because we've been talking about exploring some of these things in this chat. So we're going to go ahead and get into that, you all. So I hope you enjoy. I'm going to share my screen and let's get into it, you all. Okay. Here we go. Why am I clearing my voice? I'm about to play this clip, you all. And as you can see, I'm trying to figure out how to work Zoom. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm getting it together. My apologies. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I'm your melanated queen, your hostess, Lil Foxy, aka Seven Wonder. All right, y'all. I'm getting it together. My apologies. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I'm your melanated queen, your hostess, Lil Foxy. Oh, I'm so distracted right now. You see how slow I am over there. Be exploring Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. I've talked about this on my prior episodes. I think this is a very good read, and I want to share it with you all. So if you have not had a chance to go on to Amazon and get your copy, I have the digitalized copy, and so we're going to go over it. Okay, I'm going to try to get through this, and go ahead and I will share my screen, and we'll get down to it, you all, and get into what's going on out here in this world. Look, I'm about to pause my own self because why didn't I just get into it? I'm doing too much, y'all. So I'm gonna skip that, okay? Yeah, I was just learning how to use Zoom for the first time. So please be patient with me, okay? Bless your heart, knowledge seeker. Look, because I hate when people like take all day to get into it. I just can't stand it, y'all. So I'm going to skip my own self because I'm getting on my own nerves. All right. And I just have to say that. I know how it is when y'all are ready to hear something. All right. So let me skip that and I'm going to go ahead and play. All right. So it looks like I'm trying to find the spot, y'all, to get into. Okay. But y'all, I'm a very good reader. So I hope you enjoy because I'm going to read. I'm going to read and get into it, y'all. And you know what? When I was watching, I don't know if you all watch Hidden Colors, but this is what me, my friend, and my sister did. We watched Hidden Colors together. We took pause breaks because he was getting hyped. He was like, oh, we had to talk about it, y'all. We had to have a discussion right there on the spot. So, yeah, I would love to examine a whole bunch of information here. We can just have like a discourse and discussions on it. All right, so it looks like I found somewhere that I wanted to begin. So let's see where this starts. Okay. All right, y'all. Look, she about to get into it. Look, she's scrolling. She said, look at her. Proposed constitutional model for the new states of America. All right. I believe these people that are implementing the CBID injection don't believe that. This is why they're trampling upon your rights. All right, here we go. This is why William Cooper wrote this book. Okay, because he foresaw something that would lead up to what we're seeing today. I believe, therefore, that a grand game of chess is being played on a level that we can barely imagine. And we are the pawns. Pawns are valuable and under certain circumstances and are frequently sacrificed to gain an advantage. Okay? They're sacrificing you and your health and your lives to gain an advantage over you. Anyone who has studied military strategy is familiar with the concept of sacrifice. I'm going to sit back a little bit while I read this, and I'm going to get comfortable, y'all. Because what you really need to pay attention to is the screen. Okay, now, anyone? Okay, those who have seriously studied history have probably discovered the real reason we go to war on a regularly scheduled basis. Before reading this book, I advise you to play at least 2 complete games of chess. All right? You must learn the rules they play by. He said they. You must realize objectively that some pieces are most valuable than others, and that the king is the most valuable of all. You cannot learn reality if you get caught up in the fantasy. It's not fair. People are caught up in the fantasy because people are too worried about celebrities. People are caught up in the fantasy because they're too worried about entertainment. So this is why chess is being played with you, and you are the pawns on the game board, and they're sacrificing you. And you're too busy because you don't want to pay attention to what's really important. You must come to know that the ultimate outcome of the game is the only thing that counts. You were lied to when you were told that it does not matter whether you win or lose, but how you play the game. Winning in the world of the elite is everything. Indeed, it is the only thing the power elite intend to win. Okay? That's all they care about. So don't think they care about your lives when they try to push the injection on you, because he's telling you that they don't. My research has shown at this point that the future laid out for us may be just about impossible to change. I do not agree with the means by which the powerful few have chosen for us to reach the end. I do not agree that the end is where we should end it all. But unless we can wake the people from their sleep, nothing short of civil war will stop the planned outcome. I base that statement not on defeatism, but on the apathy of the majority of the American people. So basically, he's letting you know that most of the American people don't care. They're asleep, they're not paying attention, nor do they really have an interest to care at all, that they're trying to kill you. 25 years ago, I would have believed otherwise. But 25 years ago, I was also sound asleep. So he's letting you know he was also like some of you all. He was asleep as well. We've been taught lies. Reality is not at all what we perceive it to be. We cannot survive any longer by hanging on to the falsehoods of the past. Reality must be discerned at all costs if we are to be part of the future. Truth must prevail in all instances, no matter who it hurts or helps, if we are to continue to live upon this earth. At this point, what we want may no longer matter. It is what we must do to ensure our survival that counts. The old way is in this certain process of destruction, and a new world order is beating down the door. Okay? I don't know how much more clear he can put that for you. I don't know how much clearer he can say that for you. While you all are worried about celebrity gossip and NFL games and NBA games and rappers and entertainers and sports and athletes and politicians and the agendas of everyone else, you need to be worried about your own lives, okay? And what this government is implementing for you. To cling to the past is guaranteed suicide. To remain apathetic is assured enslavement. To learn the truth and then act on it. To learn on the truth, I'm sorry, I had got a text message. To learn the truth and then to act on it is the only means of survival at this moment. To shrug off the information contained in this book and to disregard its warning will result in the complete destruction of the Republic of the United States of America. You will never get a second warning or a second chance, like it or not. This is stark reality. You can no longer turn your head, ignore it, pretend it's not true. Say it can't happen to me, run or hide. The wolf is at the door. Well, hold on for 1 second. Let me respond back to this text. Yes, knowledge seeker. We all were there. I had.
While I respond back to the text, let me play a little music for you, a little brief intermission while I do this.
Oh, look, she about to play music, y'all. Listen to her.
Hopefully you can hear this.
Oh boy. Yeah, I had written a letter to the fan club, to TLC, when I was like 12 years old, y'all. Back in the day, I was hoping that TLC would write me back. I wrote a whole poem to each one of them. And so this is what happens when people idolize, people, and we don't understand at that young vulnerable age what's really going on. But these people are just like human beings, just like you and I. There's nothing more spectacular about them. They just have a platform where they can reach millions of people across the globe. That's the only difference. It's not that they're any more talented than any one of us, they're no more special than any one of us, but they've been given, all of these things to put them in place to make it seem as if they have something more that they really don't have. You all imagine how we could be if we had a stylist, someone to dress us, someone to put us in the public eye, someone to basically manufacture us into a celebrity. We would have that same impact.
We're going to get back to it. All right, we're going to get back to it now. Thank you for your patience. All right. So basically, he's telling you do not rely on the past. He's telling you you will never get a second warning or a second chance. You can no longer turn your head, ignore it, pretend it's not true. It can't happen to me. Run or hide. The wolf is at the door. I fear for the little ones, the innocents, who are already paying for our mistakes. There exists a great army of occupationally orphaned children. They are attending government controlled daycare centers and latchkey kids who are running wild in the streets, and the lopsided, emotionally wounded children of single welfare mothers born only for the sake of more money in the monthly check. So, you all, he's basically relating to a lot of what we see and what we hear in the society. And people continue to ignore it because they want to worry about celebrities and entertainers, but they want to escape their real lives, okay? So this is what he says. Open your eyes and look at them, for they are the future. In them I see the sure and certain destruction of this once proud nation. In their vacant eyes I see the death of freedom. They carry with them a great emptiness, and someone will surely pay a great price for their suffering. So what he's saying is a lot of the youth are walking around sleep, dead, void of energy, void of life. They are suffering because of what the earlier generation did not do to prepare for them. If we do not act in concert, and basically he's saying if we don't unify with each other and ensure that the future becomes what we need it to be, then we will surely deserve whatever fate awaits us. And so, and I'm adding this part in. So sometimes I'm going to interject and just make my own interpretation of it. But basically, all this silly bickering about these rappers, who's battling who dissed who's beefing, this is stupid. It's all a distraction that was basically orchestrated on purpose to keep you away from what's really going on in front of your face, the truth. I believe with all my heart that God put me in places and in positions throughout my life so that I will be able to deliver this warning to his people. I pray that I've been worthy and that I have done my job. And this is my creed. So he's just telling you about, what he believes, and that's fine. We don't need to get into his spiritual beliefs because one thing we can agree upon is that most people believe that they want to live unless they commit suicide. Most people want a better life, even though they might not act like it or act upon it because they've given up on themselves. But if they had a choice, whether they wanted to live as a bum in the slums or if they wanted to live uh, basically in a more luxurious lifestyle and didn't have to work so hard for it, they probably would go for the luxury lifestyle. Well, a lot of people have given up on themselves. So let's continue on. This talks about the introduction. He tells about his life. I'm really not going to read most of this because you can read this for yourself. He gives a history of like his grandparents, great grandparents. He talks about his father, his mother's family. He was born May 6, 1943. Well, he's a Taurus. He was reared in a military family, so his family comes from a military background. Okay, and you'll find that in most families.
Yeah, excuse me. I just got distracted. I am on Instagram. What is Soul Energy doing on this freaking hoverboard? She is a mess. Oh my God. She just popped up. I was checking my Instagram. She is a hot mess. Anyway, I digress.
If you have a father or someone in your family was in the military, a lot of times the children or the son will also join the military as well. It says his daddy was in the Air Force, and it talks about that. Here's a picture, I guess, of someone, probably his father and mother, I'm assuming. All right. Now he gets into what went on when he was in the military, you all. This is the part that we want to hear about. I can remember the pilots gathered around the kitchen table talking about the planes, telling stories. Sometimes they discussed strange things called Foo Fighters or UFOs. When we were lucky, they got out of the projector and showed Kodachrome slides. That was a special treat. By the time I was 8 years old, I think I had already seen and been inside every plane the Air Force, which used to be the Army Air Force, had ever owned. I had flown in several. I had seen many of them crash and had friends who had lost their fathers. I remember one night in the Azores at Lagos Field, we were at the base theater watching a movie when the projector ground to a stop. The lights came on, and a plea was made for blood donors. We knew there had been a disaster. Everyone went outside and looked down the hill at the flight line. It was literally consumed in flames. We could see men on fire running through the night. A B 29 had crashed. I forget if it had been taking off or landing, but I will never forget the scenes that was spread before me on that night. No one went back to the movie, even though we had only seen half. I was 9 years old, but felt much older. I had seen many crashes, and I would see many more in the years to come. But I never saw anything that could ever compare to the wreckage, the fire, the devastation, or the loss of life caused by the crash of the B 29. We left the Azores a year later. As we climbed into the sky, I looked out of the plane window. I could see pieces of the wreckage where it had been pushed away from the runways. It was that incident that gave me an appreciation of the dangers that my dad faced on a daily basis. I knew then how lucky we were to see him walk in the door. Aviation wasn't safe in those days, especially for military pilots. We all knew families who had lost someone in a crash. I didn't always love my father. He was the strict disciplinarian. My dad did not believe in spare the rod, and his belt was put to use frequently in our family. I was a very sensitive but willful child. Rules didn't mean much to me until I got caught breaking them. Many times I was the focus of his anger. Like most kids, I didn't understand. I thought he was a tyrant. Now I appreciate his upbringing. I now I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that without his strict discipline, we most probably would have turned out bad. Now I love my dad. He's my friend. He is an independent, gregarious, feisty, tough, confident, adventurous, sometimes overbearing, handsome, big bear of a man. My mother told me that she fell in love with him because he looks like John Wayne, and he does. I have watched him progress from one who disdains any public show of affection to a man who is just as likely to hug you and shake your hand. On the other side, he has at times made me so angry that I could have punched him in the mouth, but I never have. It's damn hard for anyone not to like him. He is always up to some mischief, and I can guarantee you that no one is ever bored around my father. And he says his mother is a real Southern lady. So let's continue on, you all. He has a brother named Ronnie. Talks about Ronnie and his wife. All right, Connie. All right. I remember reading, I read through all of this. I'm not going to read this here. Okay. Now this gets into when he first joined you all. So let's go back. All right, so he says, I graduated in 1961 from Yamato High School in Japan. That fall, I enlisted in the Air Force. I really wanted to go into the Navy, but I had always had a tendency toward car sickness and seasickness. So if you have been like on a ship and you will get seasick. But if you have a strong stomach, you can overcome it. I attended basic training, that is, at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas, and technical school for aircraft and missile hydraulics at Amarillo Air Force Base. He gives you a testament of his background history there. He said, I saw real atomic bombs. I worked around them on a daily basis. Because of that, I had to wear a dosimeter just in case I was exposed to radiation. In those days, we were the elite of the Air Force and we knew it. I received a letter of commendation for my work. In due time, I was awarded the National Defense Medal and the Air Force Good Conduct Medal. All right. It was during this time that I met a couple of sergeants who kind of adopted me. They went to clubs together, ended up chasing women, drinking a lot of beer, da 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 da. Okay. What else here?
Oh, you saw my comment, got him. I said, I know you got a lot on your hands over there.
All right, so let's read this one. On November 22nd, 1963, I was on duty as CQ, charge of quarters for the field maintenance squadron. Most of the men were out on the flight line working the barracks. Orderlies had been assigned their tasks. The first sergeant was gone somewhere, and I was alone. I turned on the orderly room's TV to watch the live broadcast of the president's motorcade in Dallas. So this was during John F. K. Okay, I was not prepared for what I saw. I stared in disbelief as the events unfurled in front of my eyes. I knew that something had happened, but what? I had seen and heard the assassination, but my mind was not accepting it. I kept staring at the set to discover.
Yeah, that John F. K thing,
Sorry,
it
y'all, I
was
had a text.
crazy. It was crazy. And I'm going to put this, it's called A Rich Man's
Slowly,
Trick.
realization crept over me. A numbness spread up my arms and legs. I saw what had happened. The hair stood up on the back of my neck and a chill went down my spine. President Kennedy had been shot right in front of my eyes, you all. At that point, huge tears began to stream down my face, waves of emotion. Now imagine this. He's equating this to like how y'all probably felt about Biggie, Tupac, Aaliyah, Nipsey. That was a big one. This is what he's equating that to. At the point, huge tears began to stream down my face. Waves of emotion rushed through my body. I felt that I had to do something. So I picked up the direct line to the command center. I choked back the tears. When the command duty officer answered, I told him that the president had just been shot in Dallas. There was a pause and he asked me, how do you know he has been shot? I told him that I had watched it on television and then hung up the phone. I was numb all over. A few minutes later, the command duty officer called back and ordered a red alert at DEFCON 2. Defense Condition 2 meant war was imminent. The roar of jet engines could already be heard as the alert crews taxied their planes towards the runway. I was scared as I ran from the barracks to barracks, routing out the night shift and those who had the day off. We had been told that we had about 15 minutes to launch all of our planes before the first atomic bomb would hit us in the event that the Russians launched an attack. Well, this had nothing to do with the Russians. If you do your research on JFK, that was an inside job done by one of your own very presidents that you had in office. Okay? There was a senior and a junior that took office. Okay? The senior was involved in the assassination of JFK. I didn't even lock up the orderly room. I just jumped in the first car I saw, rode to the SAC compound, and reported to my red alert duty station. Okay, we thought it had finally hit the fan. It was a great relief when the alert had ended. All right, in December of the same year, he joined the Navy. Okay, so I thought he had motion sickness, but it looks like he loved the ocean. He just wanted to be a sailor, okay, seaside or not. He made up his mind to follow his dream. All right, well, that's nice. What else? What else happened here?
You all check out Everything is a Rich Man's Trick. It's a 3-hour documentary. But y'all, when you get to see all of what happened, it's going to be shocking. These people
Well,
are
I'm just
sick.
scanning over this so you can pay attention to the screen if you like.
And I think they still have it on YouTube if they haven't taken it down. I watched that probably like in 2015, and it basically explained what happened with that assassination with John F. K, how they switched the bodies, all types of sinister stuff that took place. And your president was involved, okay? The senior, okay? There was a junior and a senior. You know who I'm talking about. These people are freaking, they're the mafia, y'all. And they make hits on one another. And basically, this is all out of greed because they wanted power and control. And JFK was about to expose them. And so they made a mockery out of him. They basically showed that if he wanted to try to expose them, they were going to get rid of him. And that's exactly what they did. If you pay attention, a lot of the Kennedys have died in these uncanny accidents that people can't explain. And I think, was it one of the Kennedys is still alive, and he's really close with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump knows a lot of people. Donald Trump knows a lot of celebrities too. And
All right, so we're going to get into the fact that he's at Seaside, you all, and he's witnessing something. So he's going to tell you what he saw. I was just lifting the binoculars off my chest when I saw it. The giant saucer shape plunged out of the clouds, tumbled and pushing the water before it, opened up a hole in the ocean and disappeared from view. It was incredible. This time I had seen it with my naked eyes, and its size in comparison with the total view was nothing short of astounding. And Ensign Ball stood in shock, his binoculars in his hands, his mouth open. Geronimo yelled, "What the hey, did you guys see that?" And Signal Ball turned and looked right at me with the most incredulous look on his face, said in a low voice, "This had to happen on my watch." He turned quickly, pressing the override on the 1MC and yelled, "Captain to the bridge, captain to the bridge." As an afterthought, he pressed the switch again and yelled, "Somebody get a camera up here." The captain surged up the ladder with the quartermaster on his heels. Chief Quartermaster Quintero had the ship's 35mm camera slung around his neck. The captain stood patiently while Ensign Ball tried to describe what he had seen. He glanced at us, and we both nodded in affirmation. That was enough for the captain. He called sonar, who during the excitement had reported contact underwater at the same bearing. The captain announced to the 1MC, "This is the captain. I have the con." The reply came back instantly from the helm. "Aye, aye, sir." I knew that the helmsman was passing the word in the control room that the captain had personally taken control of the boat. I also knew that rumors were probably flying through the vessel. The captain called down and ordered someone to closely monitor the radar. His command was instantly acknowledged. As the five of us stood gazing out over the sea, the same ship, or one, exactly like it rose slowly, turned in the air, tilted at an angle, and then vanished. I saw the chief snapping pictures out of the corner of my eye. This time I had 3 images from which to draw conclusions. There was a metal machine, of that there was no doubt whatsoever. It was intelligently controlled. Of that I was equally sure. It was a dull color, kind of like pewter. There were no lights. There was no glow. I thought I had seen a row of what looked like portholes, but I could not be certain. Radar reported contact at the same bearing and gave us a range of 3 nautical miles. The range was right on as the craft had moved toward the general direction that we were headed. We watched repeatedly as the strange craft re-entered the water and then subsequently rose into the clouds over and over again until finally we knew that it was gone for good. The episode lasted about 10 minutes. Before leaving the bridge, the captain took the camera from the chief and instructed each of us not to talk to anyone about what we had seen. He told us the incident was classified and we were not to discuss it, and even among ourselves. We acknowledged his order. The captain and the chief left the bridge. Ensign Ball stepped to the 1MC and pressing the override switch announced, "This is Ensign Ball. The captain has left the bridge. I have the con." The reply, "Aye, aye, sir," quickly followed. Those of us who had witnessed the UFO were not allowed to go ashore after we had berthed in Pearl. Even those of us who didn't have the duty were told we had to stay aboard. After about 2 hours, a commander from the Office of Naval Intelligence boarded. He went directly to the captain's stateroom. It wasn't long before we were called to wait in the passageway outside the captain's door. Ensign Ball was called first. After about 10 minutes, he came out and went to the wardroom. He looked shaken. I was next. When I entered the stateroom, the commander was holding my service record in his hands. He knew to know. He wanted to know why I had gone from the Air Force into the Navy. I told him the whole story and he laughed when I said that after putting off the Navy for fear of chronic seasickness, I hadn't been sick yet. Suddenly, a mask dropped over his face, and looking me directly in the eyes, he asked, "What did you see out there?" "I believe it was a flying saucer, sir," I answered. The man began to visibly shake, and he screamed obscenities at me. He threatened to put me in the brig for the rest of my life. I thought he wasn't going to stop yelling, but as suddenly as he began, he stopped. I was confused. I had answered his question truthfully, yet I was threatened with prison. I was not afraid, but I was not very confident either. I figured I had better take another tack. 18 years with my father and 4 years in the Air Force had taught me something. Number one was that officers just do not lose control like that ever. Number two was that if my answer had elicited that explosion, then the next thing out of my mouth had better be something entirely different. Number three was that his response had been an act of kindness to get me to arrive at exactly that conclusion. "Let's start all over again," he said. "What did you see out there?" "Nothing, sir," I answered. "I didn't see a damn thing, and I'd like to get out of here just as soon as possible." A smile spread over his face, and the captain looked relieved. "Are you sure, Cooper?" he asked. "Yes, sir," I replied. "I'm sure." "You're a good sailor, Cooper," he said. "The Navy needs men like you. You'll go far with the Navy." He then asked me to read several pieces of paper that all said the same thing, only with different words. I read that if I ever talked about what it was that I didn't see, I could be fined up to $10,000 and imprisoned for up to 10 years or both. In addition, I could lose all pay and allowances due or ever to become due. He asked me to sign a piece of paper stating that I understand the laws and regulations that I had just read governing the safeguard of classified information relating to the national security. By signing, I agreed never to communicate in any manner any information regarding the incident with anyone. I was dismissed, and boy, was I glad to get out of there. Not long after that incident, I de-volunteered from submarines. I was transferred to the USS Tim, Tim Bigby, Tom Bigby. Okay, so then he goes into talking about that, you all. This is just a brief synopsis into William Cooper's book, Behold a Pale Horse. It basically demonstrates and orchestrates how the government holds secrets, classified information from the citizens, and they don't want you to know, but I know plenty of you out there are familiar with this knowledge already. And his book gets more interesting, gets deeper than this, you all. All right, so let me, I should have actually gone through and highlighted the places that I wanted to review, but I'm combing through right now to see if there's anything else I wish to share at this particular point in time. It talks about he went to Vietnam. All right, the military holds a lot of secrets, you all. All right, so while I do this, let me just play a little bit of music for you until I get to a place that I can pick up from again.
Oh boy, here we go again, y'all. So I was just, flowing off the top of my head, basically. And really, I should have highlighted this prior to starting, but I just went in for it, y'all as the spirit moved me and touched me. Um, the book is very interesting. I'm going to get more into it a little bit more, and then I'll probably come back on here and examine it later as well. Knowledge Seeker, you said a Japanese.
All right, you all. The intermission is over.
Oh, that was quick.
The whole time that I was in Vietnam, and especially on the DMZ, I had noticed that there was a lot of UFO activity. We had individual 24-hour crypto code sheets that we used to encode messages. But because of the danger that one of them could be captured at any time, we used special code words for sensitive information of UFOs. Make sure y'all can hear me.
I'd also like to explore something called Operation Chaos, y'all. Have you heard of this? Check it out.
All right, so it sounds like you all can still hear me. All right, rumors floated around that UFOs had kidnapped and mutilated 2 Army soldiers, then dropped them in the bush. I learned that both sides. Ooh, listen. Okay, let me go back, you all. Let me go back. The whole time that I was in Vietnam, and especially on the DMZ, I had noticed that there was a lot of UFO activity. We had individual 24-hour crypto code sheets that we used to encode messages. But because of the danger that one of them could be captured at any time, we used special code words for sensitive information. UFOs, I was told, were definitely sensitive information. I learned exactly how sensitive when all the people of an entire village disappeared after UFOs were seen hovering above their huts. So a lot of times these missing people that come up missing can be abducted, you all, by UFOs. Okay? All right, so the UFOs were seen hovering above their huts, and these people disappeared. I learned that both sides had fired on the UFOs, and they had blasted back with a mysterious blue light. You all remember Men in Black? They're just not making this stuff up. They get this from somewhere. All right? Rumors floated around that UFOs had kidnapped and mutilated 2 Army soldiers, then dropped them in the bush. No one knew how much of this was true, but the fact that the rumors persisted made me tend to think that there was at least some truth in them. I found out later that most of those rumors were true. This is why they always try to classify people as conspiracy theorists that talk about this type of stuff. So they don't want you to believe that this is true. I eventually found myself back in Hawaii. This time it was shore duty at the headquarters of the Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Fleet at Makalapa, a hill above Pearl Harbor. You all hear about Pearl Harbor a lot. It's referenced a whole lot, you all. All right. Now I'm just going to skip past here. On the day that I learned that the Office of Naval Intelligence had participated, listen to this again. On the day that I learned that the Office of Naval Intelligence had participated in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, and that it was the Secret Service agent driving the limo that had shot Kennedy in the head, I went AWOL with no intention of ever returning. Let me read that again, because in case you think the government cares about you so much that they want you to take this injection, they don't even care about the President of the United States so much to the point that they will elicit and use the forces of the naval intelligence and secret service to have him assassinated if he does not go along with their agenda. These people are brutal and they are not playing with you. On the day that I learned that the Office of Naval Intelligence had participated in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, and that it was the Secret Service agent driving the limo that had shot Kennedy in the head, I went AWOL with no intention of ever returning. You all, there is a whole 3-hour video. Check out my TrueTube page, and it basically is a documentary that shows you how this took place. That person driving the limo turned around and they slowed it down and shot him in the head. They tried to make you think that this was done by a sniper. It was not. This is why John F. Kennedy's wife got scared and tried to climb to the back seat. She was scared. This man had a gun and shot her husband in the head in front of her. All right, let's continue. My good friend Bob Swan is the one who talked me into going back later on June 1st, 1972, the eve of my wedding. I told Bob everything that I knew about the UFOs. Kennedy's assassination, the Navy, the secret government, the coming Ice Age, Alternatives 1, 2, and 3, Project Galileo, and the fight and the plan for the New World Order. I believed it was all true then, and I believe it is all true now. I must warn you, however, that I have found evidence that the secret societies were planning as far back as 1917 to invent an artificial threat from outer space in order to bring humanity together in a one world government that they call the New World Order. I am still searching for the truth. I firmly believe that this book is closer to the truth than anything ever previously written. I attempted to leak information to a reporter after my discharge. I was forced off of a cliff by a black limo in the hills of Oakland. 2 men got out and climbed down to where I lay, covered in blood. One bit down and felt for my carotid pulse. The other asked if I was dead. The nearest man said, "No, but he will be." The other replied, "Good, then we don't need to do anything else." They climbed up and drove off. I succeeded in climbing up the bank where I waited until I was found. A month later, I was forced into another accident by the same limo. This time I lost my leg. 2 men visited me in the hospital. They only wanted to know if I would shut up or if the next time should be final. I told them that I would be a very good little boy and that they didn't need worry about me anymore. Under my breath, I swore to spill the beans as soon as I could figure out how to do it without getting hurt again. It took 16 years, $27,000, a computer, and a lot of envelopes. But now everyone knows. I went back to school after leaving the Navy and obtained a degree in photography, served as the chief instructor of the Coastal School of Deep Sea Diving, the head of the Mixed Gas Deep Saturation Diving Department, and the underwater photography instructor for the College of Oceaneering, admissions representative for Airco Technical Institute, assistant director of Adelphi Business College, executive director of Adelphi Business College, national marketing coordinator of United Education and Software, executive director of Pacific Coast Technical Institute, and executive director of National Technical College. I also owned and operated Absolute Image Gallery and Studio of Fine Art Photography. In the spring of 1988, I saw a magazine that made reference to a document discovered by the research team of Moore, Shandera, and Friedman that outlined the government's knowledge of a down saucer, dead alien bodies, and an operation called Operation Majestic 12. I knew that Moore and Friedman were government agents, and the document was a fraud. I had never heard of Shandera. I knew this because I had seen a list of agents who were to initiate a contingency plan called Majestic that would lead investigators off the track when such a need arose. I decided that it was time for me to enter the arena and expose the cover-up and the disinformation. First, it was necessary to convince the known agents that I was just a cook who didn't really know anything. I prepared some bogus information, mixed it with some true information, and passed it to Morton Freeman through Jim Speezer, the operator of a computer BBS network called Paranet. Speezer was told that the information was to go only to Moore or Freeman. No one else was to see it. I wanted to buy time by convincing these agents to report me to their case officers as harmless, thus allowing me to get the real information out to the public. None of that information was intended to go to the public. Speezer turned out to be working with Moore, however, and posted the files on the computer networks. Speezer then went to Los Angeles, conferred with Moore for 3 days, and returned and then barred me from the Paranet system. So you see, whomever he was working with, basically they were informants. And we see that a lot with these agents in the music industry that you all like to idolize and worship. They're FBI and CIA agents, you all. Friedman called and elicited my address, the name and address of my employer, and a lot of other personal information. I knew that I was being checked out through the intelligence network and played along. About 1 week after talking to Friedman, 2 Defense Investigative Service agents showed up at my home and confiscated all my floppy disks. So back then, you all, for those of you who are not aware of what floppy disks are, because this is taking it way back. It's like a USB drive that we have today. A floppy disk was like a big square disk that you put in your computer that held information, but now they have USB drives or flash drives, if you will. Okay, so they took his information. The only thing that prevented me from taking my computer was the fact that it was an XT with no hard drive. I knew that my plan had worked because they did not take me. With the help of Annie and a few very close and trusted friends, I prepared the real information. So he's playing chess with these people, y'all. As true and correct as I could remember. And together we did a mailing that all total cost me $27,000. We sent the packages to people all over the world. That is what prevented the government from arresting me or harming me. Any move by them would be interpreted as total confirmation of everything that I had revealed. I also uploaded the information onto computer bulletin boards all across the nation. At the same time, I publicly stated that Moore, Shandera, and Friedman were government agents and that the Eisenhower briefing document is a fraud. I was attacked by everyone. They insisted that Moore, Shandera, and Friedman were above reproach. And you see this going a lot with people. They all like to turn their backs on the people that are telling the truth. I resigned effective April 15th, 1989, from the college where I was the executive director after James Shandera was seen poking around the grounds. The story is included later in this book. The loss of income was a serious blow. Stan Barrington, the head of the college secretary department, came to our aid. Stan gave us $5,000 to help out. I was deeply moved by his faith and trust in me, and I gave him 24% of whatever was to come out of my efforts down the line. Neither of us ever expected much, and so far we have not been wrong. I have, however, paid Stan back his money, and now whatever he earns is extra. Stan is in charge of printing information and the sale of my papers and tapes. Stan Barrington is my only authorized representative. Moore was approved to be an agent when, by his own admission on July 1st, 1989, never mind. He stated he had participated in spying on fellow researchers, had changed documents, had put out disinformation, and had helped run a scam on Paul Benowitz that had resulted in Mr. Benowitz being confined to a mental institution. Moore stated that he had been recruited by an intelligence agency and that he knew he had been recruited. He was a witting agent. No one acknowledged that I had been right. From the point on, my Annie and I were followed and harassed. Death threats began showing up on our answering machine. The phone would ring several times during the night, but no one would reply when we answered. Sometimes a man would deliver another death threat. Government cars would park in front and well-dressed men watched the house. The strangest people begin to show up at our doors, sometimes in the middle of the night. You all, this is like a form of gang stalking. If you're not familiar with that terminology, please look it up. Gang stalking is when they try to intimidate you no matter where you are, even at your own house. They do all types of things to their intimidating techniques and tactics here. Okay? So the strangest people will show up at the door sometimes in the middle of the night, just like young Pharaoh was trying to say. The pizza delivery guy showed up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, I have seen people deliver pizza like up to 12:30 in the morning. One girl, she was out there delivering pizza around that time. I told her to be careful. So it's not uncommon because those sometimes they close the inside and then the delivery services are still going. But I think that's very dangerous. Let's continue, y'all. You all, the strangest people begin to show up at our door sometimes in the middle of the night. I purchased a 380 automatic for Annie and a 9mm for me. I taught Annie how to shoot, and she was not hesitant to kill anyone who attempts to harm me, her, or our little daughter. Okay, so he wrote this. She will not hesitate. Good for her, y'all. And I would also tell all ladies who have children, especially if you are single mothers and you don't have anyone living with you, have firearms, know how to protect yourself, know how to use the gun. Don't be afraid of a gun. Even if your children are responsible enough, take them to the gun range so that they are well able to protect themselves as well. Because you just never know what could take place and what could happen. I know the guy from Mobb Deep, Prodigy, before they killed him, said that he used to take his 7-year-old to the gun range. Why was that? Because he wanted his 7-year-old to know how to defend themselves. And this is something that, the Caucasian community does take part in. So why you people out here in the melanated community are, I don't want my kids around guns. Well, guess what's going to happen? If they don't know how to properly use them, then it's going to be a problem. Annie and Pooh are the lights in my life. Okay, so he's talking about his daughter and his wife. Annie and I were married on July 4th, 1989. Pooh was born on May 30th, 1990. All right, so he talks about that. There's a picture of them in front of the Christmas tree. All right, not saying that I believe in Christmas or the tree, but that's, back then, this book was written in like 1993, I believe. All right, so let's continue on.
Y'all a trip.
We have been taken advantage of by every crooked con man, TV producer, scriptwriter, author, and film flam expert that there is in this country. Let me read that again, because a lot of people act like they can't get it through their thick ass skull. We have been taken advantage of by every crooked con man, TV producer, scriptwriter, author, and flim flam expert that there is in this country. I have learned that the TV and printed media reporters and producers that I have met are a pack of liars. They are not objective and don't give a damn about the truth. But so many of you idiots out here still believe in everything that you see on the TV screen. The only really open media left to the public is talk radio, and even talk radio won't discuss certain subjects. My material has been copied, changed, and even plagiarized. A lot of people have used my material to make money without my knowledge or permission. A Hollywood producer wanted to buy the exclusive rights to my story for $1. Bill Hamilton begged me to let him include my material in his book entitled Alien Magic. He pretended to be a friend, and I let him. I asked for no money, and he offered none. His entire book consists of other people's material. He now accuses me of stealing his information. Bill Hamilton turned out to be just another UFO flake. I have since learned that I am not the only person of whom he has taken advantage. The most damaging scam was perpetuated by two old has-been actors turned conmen named Michael Palin and Douglas Dean. I doubt seriously that you will remember either one. Callan was a regular in the Cheapy Teen Beach Blanket movies, and Dean never got beyond bit parts and chorus lines. I got involved with them when another actor named Bruce Reed called and asked if I would consent to meet with him and a friend who preferred to remain anonymous. I agreed that they could come to the house where we could talk on familiar turf. I was not eager to meet with someone I did not know, and especially with an anonymous person away from some familiar surroundings. Reed and friend showed up at my home, and the friend turned out to be Michael Callan. They told me that they had read my material and wanted to help. What a joke that statement turned out to be. They told me that they knew how to get me in front of millions of people where I could deliver my message. Callan was slick. He told me he was only interested in helping spread the information, but talked me into signing a 5-year management contract that gave him a full 20% of the gross of all of my earnings, no matter what the source. He swore that if he didn't show results within 6 months, he would tear up the contract. Let me see how much further we have in this. Okay. All right, so we're almost done, and I'm going to end it in a minute. Okay, so I'll read these next paragraphs, and then we'll stop there. We'll continue this some other time. The first thing that Callan did was shaft his partner, Bruce Reed. He cut Reed out of the action to prevent me from finding out that he had done it only to get Reed's half of the 20%. Callan told me that Bruce was a drug dealer. Callan said that the public would find out eventually, and Reed's drug involvement would damage me. Everything Callan told me about Reed turned out to be a lie. Stan Barrington called me next, wanting to know why I was trying to dump him. I didn't know that what he was talking about. It turned out that Callan was trying to force Stan into giving up his 24% so that Callan could form a 50-50 partnership with me. I told Stan that I had no intention of dumping him. I told him that his 24% was his, that he could keep it, sell it, or give it away, and that he did not need my permission. Stan felt much better after that conversation and told Callan to go fly a kite. At that point, Callan had been working on me to get rid of Stan. I refused. I also told him that he had nothing invested and therefore did not warrant anything. His job was to manage according to our contract. Douglas Dean entered the picture at the January 1989 lecture. Now, the only reason I'm reading this part is to show y'all how shady and shysty these people are that surrounded him while he was trying to get this information out. So, just understand the logistics of what goes on when you're trying to bring forth the truth to people. All right, let's continue on here. Douglas Dean entered the picture at the January 7, 1989 lecture that I gave at the Showboat Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Callan brought him to videotape the lecture so that we would have a tape to sell for thousands of people who pleaded with us to produce a tape. The agreement was that he would tape the event and the tapes would belong exclusively to me. In return, if the tapes turned out good, Dean would get a contract to produce future tapes. The tapes were terrible, and I told both Dean and Callan that I did not want tapes of that poor quality being sold to anyone. They did it anyway behind my back and began the process of stealing my master tapes from all of my other lectures. This sounds like what took place in the conscious, quote unquote, woke community, you all. Dr. Deborah Blair has many VHS tapes that are being placed on display on YouTube. So let's go ahead and continue. They did it anyway, okay? And they did it behind his back, all right. And began the process of stealing his master tapes from all of his other lectures. At the same time, Callan drained all of the business accounts. He borrowed $1,400 from Stan to produce tapes and then kept the money and the tapes. A producer in Germany booked me to do a lecture in that country. To secure the agreement, he sent $3,000 to be used for 2 first-class tickets, and as a guarantee that when I got there, I would not be canceled. The producer canceled when a German postal strike prevented him from advertising the event. Callan kept the man's $3,000. I did not find out about that until after I fired Callan. At my lecture in San Diego at the Whole Life Expo, I found out that Dean was selling tapes and asking people to make checks out to Need to Know Productions, a phony company. I immediately fired Dean. He had snakes around him, y'all. You know about this, what goes on in the entertainment industry. I informed Callan that we were to do more business with him. We were to do no more business with him whatsoever. I discovered that Callan was telling me that we were having tapes duplicated in Hollywood for $15 per tape at his home in Arizona. I asked Callan to return all of my master tapes for all of my lectures. He refused and I fired him. When I got rid of Callan, he had stolen everything we had. We were left literally penniless. He was in possession of all of our master tapes from all of my lectures. We were broke and homeless at that point. If it had not been for a few good friends in Minnesota, we would not have survived. We would be in the streets today. Callan and Dean continue to injure us by selling tapes from my lectures. We get nothing from those sales. They are the most despicable con men and thieves that you can imagine. I paid a visit to Dean's home one Saturday morning to ask him for my master tapes. He was not home, and after a polite conversation with his handyman, I returned to my home. A few days later, the sheriff's department called and asked me if I had been to the dean's home that same Saturday. I told him that I had. He asked me if I had tried to break in Dean's home, and I told him that I had not. He thanked me, and that was the end of it. I had no idea what it was all about until I was served with a restraining order. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It seems that Dean's guilty conscience had made him afraid that I would return. He slit his own tires, made a report to the sheriff that I had done it, and then procured a restraining order from the local court. I have never been questioned or accused by the police or sheriff other than what I had already disclosed. I believe that their goal from the very beginning was to try and destroy my efforts at educating the American people. They damn near succeeded. Okay, now it goes into chapter 1, excerpts from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Top secret information.
All right, you all, I'm going to stop it right there. I think I went on for a little bit more after that. But I just want to encourage you all that if you have a story, write your book, because this man at least wrote his book before he left this earth. And at least he left something behind for us all to be able to study, to be able to guide us, to be able to give us information, that superseded him after he has transitioned over. And regardless of whatever race he is, whatever complexion he is, one thing I do believe that he's telling the truth, because he basically risked his life to get us this information. And I don't know how many people would do that. So y'all, always be able to share your story, if you're brave enough to do so, if it's on your heart. That's just one message I wanted to share with you all. Knowledge seeker, you said, what is it going to take to wake people up? I don't think everybody wants to wake up. I don't think everybody really cares. Honestly, I'm gonna drop the link in case anybody wants to come up, but I don't really think anybody cares enough to really want to wake up to that magnitude. Um, it's just unfortunate that many people don't. But what I will say, thank you so much, Gotham. I appreciate it. I hope I hope y'all enjoyed me reading that. I do want to continue on with it because he really gets into some really deep information, y'all. The further the book goes, he talks about the underground cities. He talks about all of the information that we keep hearing about. He actually bears witness to a lot of this stuff. You all are familiar with Area 51, the Los Alamos base, the fact that they're crossbreeding, people with alien DNA, all types of stuff. They're crossbreeding people with animals. So just know that there are things far more sinister that takes place behind the scenes than what we could ever imagine, what we would ever fathom. I heard about all this information probably around 2015. You all, me and my friend, we had gotten snowed in. Can't, you're at work. No problem, got them. It's all good. And I just started looking up this information and my freaking ears were blown away. Okay. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But y'all, I mean, this world is not what we think it is. Let's just say that. It's not. So, you all, this has been an episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I just wanted to come on here and share this with you all. I thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like to share the video, please share it. And if you have not done so, please subscribe. And I will try my best to make it out for you tomorrow for If Your Feelings Friday. Artificial intelligence got him. I'm telling you, we got to get into this. Like, these are the type of things I like talking about. And, for some reason, I could only have these conversations with like maybe one or two, a very select few people, in my lifetime. And fortunately, what's good, knowledge seeker? Fortunately, I have, gotten some people that are actually into what I'm into. All right, knowledge seeker, I'm going to bring you up. What's good, King? How are you today?
I'm blessed. I'm very blessed today. Good to be here.
Hear that. So what's on your mind?
You really did a fantastic video. This is stuff I research on my free spare time, and it's very good that this guy got this information out there, wrote his book and shared his information, risked his life and stuff like that. He's brave and he's a hero in my eyes and stuff. But what really makes me mad is that we have this information out there. He just exposed everything, but I can show this to people in my family and show this to a stranger off the street, and they still won't believe it. And they still can't see it. And that is just, to me, it's disturbing looking at the way society is going.
Absolutely. I've actually, had these personal conversations behind the scenes with some of my close friends, and we talk about this type of stuff in private, and they say the same thing that you're saying. But what I will say is not everybody is meant to be awakened at the same time. So as much as you want to wake them up, everybody's just not going to be there. And you just have to understand that and just migrate to the people that are on your same wavelength and frequency. You can spend a lot of energy investing into your own self, doing your own research, rather than trying to help wake the people up. And Gotham said that there are chips in people's skull. My mother was telling me that they're putting chips in people by way of the injection as well.
Oh, definitely. In China, they've already done, put chips in people. Like, that has already been a done deal out there. And half of the citizens don't even know that's what already happened to them already, because most of them have got I'm not going to say the actual word in case I don't want to take down your channel, but they got the secret sauce. You know what I'm saying? The secret sauce
Right.
out there in China. And then they have tabs on all their citizens now. That's a done deal. And one of the people in charge of the secret sauce in China, he verbally admitted that the secret sauce is going to monitor and track you.
Absolutely. Just like all these chips that we have, chips are in our driver's license, chips are in our bank cards, credit card, everything is a chip. You know what I'm saying? So we already know this. And I try to stay away from as much as possible and try to hold on to the little bit that I have. But these people are just, they're running amok on us. They're doing whatever they want to us. And some people are willingly just giving it up to them, willingly giving their information. Just like I wanted to touch on these Ring doorbells. That's one thing that I was examining last night, where so many of these homes have Ring doorbells and people are not aware that they can actually hack into your Ring doorbell from right up the street, monitor who's in your house, if you have children by themselves, know if you're in town, if you're away, if your children are at home, all types of stuff is going on. And another thing that people are not privy to is that whenever the police need to get a search warrant without your consent, they can do so by way of just going to the judge. And basically, because the Ring doorbell footage is owned by Amazon, all they have to do is go to Amazon and circumnavigate you and pull up all the information they want. And they can see everybody that's in your home, at your neighborhood, who's ringing your doorbell, anybody who has visited your house. And this is why I've never really invested into the Ring doorbell, because I don't trust it. They can hear your conversations. I try to stick with a service that does not go through a third party vendor that only I have the access to, because we don't know what they're doing with your information. They say that they're not supposed to utilize it, but can we really trust the government? Do you remember that Snowden guy? They had to run him out of his own country because he was on the run, because he released the information to the American citizens. He let us know that they're tapping into your cell phones, they're reading your text messages, they're looking at your emails, everything that we're doing, they are violating our rights.
I remember that. And when hearing stuff like that, I try to keep technology in my household to a minimum. I don't have all this new fandangled tablets, these new iPhones and such. I don't have none of that. And I just got like 2 TVs from like 2010, and I got some disposable phones and stuff like that. I don't really play around when it comes to invasion of privacy, and I don't have no high-tech security system, because the security system is being made by our enemies. How can we trust our enemies is going to protect us when they've given us no evidence that they care about us or our children or our well-being?
You better say it. Facts. That's all the way facts. Yes, Eric Snowden got him. Absolutely right. That Snowden guy. Yes. I mean, they have basically shown us, how many times have they shown us that they don't care about us? I did some research and study on the injections. I can't really talk about it too much, but if you actually look at what is inside of paint and plastic, imagine that being injected into your body. Everything that they're saying we're not supposed to consume is what they're injecting inside of our bodies. Not only our bodies, but our babies, our infants. And you want to know why these little newborns are dying of SIDS, you all? Because their little immune systems cannot take the foreign bodies that are being injected into them. So some of the newborns just can't take it, and they die, they perish. On top of the milk, sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. People are not aware that infants are not supposed to have cow milk. We're not even supposed to be drinking cow milk. Cow milk is full of cow pus and hormones, you all. And so why is it that we are consuming the milk of a different species? We are meant to have the milk of our mothers, you all. Thank God that my sister and I came out okay, because we actually took in formula. My mama had us on the formula. She didn't know any better. But these are the things we have to think about. If they are allowing us to intake things into our bodies that are dangerous to our infants, what makes you think that they're going to give us anything on the market that is good enough, for our infants, that's safe, that's not dangerous? Dick Gregory did studies on this. There's so many people who've done studies, and yet and still you'll have people tell you, oh, well, the FDA approved it. Do you understand that the FDA, who funds that and why they fund it? They are funding it because they know that people are going to get sick. They're going to need pharmaceutical drugs because they are going to be ill. Okay. So
the FDA is ran by a bunch of demons. The FDA is ran by a bunch of demons whose only purpose is to depopulate the world. That's why they approve all these pharmaceutical drugs and stuff that's not even healthy for melanated people. The stuff they give melanated people is here to lower our birth rate, here to give us autism, here to give us high diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, all types of poison.
Absolutely. Right, got them. Paint thinner. Yes, you're right. Paint thinner is in it. So the same stuff, and even stuff that like they put in your nail polish. You said, right, mom had me on soy milk, would mess me up. And that's another thing too. Like our mothers just did not know any better. So we can't blame them. But like now that we know better, we have to do better going forward. And the best thing that we can do is just spread the information. I have, told people in my family, like, that cow milk is really not good for your children, but they still give their children cow milk. So it's like, what else can you really do? other than just try to give them the information. There are plenty documentaries out here about it. And you said, right, mom had me. Oh, yeah, soy milk and soy causes cancer. See, and I didn't know that until I read the labels, you all, when I get into the store. If it says that it's has soy in it, I don't buy it. So right now, I'm in a state of just trying to eat everything from like beans, rice, brown rice, brown flour, you all. Anything that's brown is best for you. If it's white, it's not good for you because they've bleached it. So white flour is nothing but yeast. Women, it's really not good for your body to eat cheese and yeast. It's just not good at all. It's very toxic for us. So just keep mind of that, you all. A lot of our protein is found in green leafy vegetables, nuts, things like that, and beans. We do not need to eat the things that they tell us. That whole, what is it, that pyramid, the food pyramid, it used to be the four food group, and then they changed it. So they lied to us even in elementary school. And why is it that when we're in kindergarten and elementary, they wanted to give us that white cow milk? Do y'all remember every time we got lunch, they served it with cow milk? And I didn't like milk then. I didn't even like milk. I used to like juice. You know, give me some juice or something. I didn't like milk, but they always said you need milk for calcium to keep your bones nice and strong. Well, think about it. If cow milk is meant for a baby calf and I'm a human being, I'm not meant to be a cow. So why am I drinking the milk of a cow as if I'm a calf? So imagine what that's doing to an infant. Imagine the damage that is doing to an infant. They're very frail compared to a baby calf. And then another thing, you see the size of some of these animals, and do you understand the things that they eat? Look at an elephant. An elephant doesn't even eat other animals. They graze off of, what is it, grass? When I watch the Planet channel, and when I watch like the cows, they don't eat other animals. They graze. And look at how big they are. Look at how strong they are. But yet, and still, you're going to tell me, a human being that doesn't even weigh half of what they weigh, that we need to eat all this meat pound for pound. We got to eat pounds and pounds of meat every day. It's just not what we're supposed to consume in our diet, you all. This is why people are getting diabetes and health conditions with their heart. I did not know this until I watched that documentary called What the Health. Check it out on Netflix, you all. And actually, you can find it on YouTube for free right now. It's called What the Health. And they tell you how meat causes diabetes, meat causes heart attacks, and all these health conditions. I did not know this until a few years ago. I really thought that people used to get diabetes because they consumed too much sugar. That's not true. And on top of it, guess who funds these foundations? The Heart Society. So even though the Heart Society knows that meat contributes to heart attacks, guess what they do? They tell you you should eat chicken. They tell you you should eat these things that still they know it causes heart attacks. So they're all in it together, you all. Check
Well,
that video out.
well, I would say the meat, like we are humans, though we can really eat meat. God gave us dominion. The Creator gave us dominion over animals. But the fact is, a lot of these animals are not being raised humanely. They're being like tortured to death. The chickens, I saw so many documentaries of what they do to the chickens and the cows. It really breaks my heart. When I found that out, I don't even mess with meat no more because your conscious witness to the truth. And so I'm like, I'm not about to eat like meat from these animals because they're being not raised humanely. So I think part of like the diabetes, the heart disease, and all this nonsense is because the meat is not being, the animals are not being raised humanely. Do you think that could be a factor?
Absolutely. Because they shoot off like adrenaline because they know they're about to die. Like I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, baby chickens. I used to love drumettes because what person didn't eat chicken at a time or two in their life? I mean, I used to love the drumettes and I used to cook that with mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, had the roll on the side. That was my Sunday dinner, right? But then when
Yeah.
you really think about it, Okay, they're chopping off the heads of these chicklets, right? And how are they doing that? They hang them up upside down and they hang them on a line and they have a machine that chops, chop, chop, chop right down the line, chops their heads off. So to me, I find that, I find it troubling. And I know they say the creator gave us dominion over the animals. Yes, this is true, but it's just like spirit cooking, you all. And we all heard about the queen and how people eat babies and infants, right? We think that's crazy. But when you eat chicklets, you're eating a baby chicken, right? And the fact that they make these chickens impregnated, like it's not even normal. How in the world do you have all these chickens to feed everybody across the globe? How is it that when Thanksgiving comes up, now all of a sudden they have enough turkeys for Thanksgiving? How is this the case?
Laboratories.
So basically we've been eating cloned meat. That's disgusting to me. It's disgusting. They've been cloning the meat and they're still doing it.
It's demon eating. That's basically what it is too. They torture the animals, they shoot them up with injections, and they clone them to make more animals. It's demon eating now at this point. And people in my family, they're gigantic meat eaters, but then they get mad at me like, "You're so skinny, boy. Eat some meat. Put some protein on your bones and stuff like that." And I'm like, well, like my conscience witness to the truth. Now, when I saw the documentaries of what they do to these animals, I became a vegetarian instantly because that is demonic and evil. I can't do it.
Got him said, I ain't gonna cap. I still eat meat. Got him. This is not a meat bashing moment or session for meat eaters. It's just, I guess I can't do it anymore. But I don't force or push, my dietary supplements on anyone else. It's just that I've studied it and I researched it. And then what I found out, I just couldn't do the meat anymore, kind of just like knowledge seeker. I just couldn't do it once I watched the documentary, once I found out about the health effects that it has. And I just told myself, like, I've seen what eating healthy does for people. I mean, you got people walking around in their 60s, 70s, 80s looking good. And I just don't want to be one of those people needing help in a wheelchair, having diabetes, having arthritis, heart attack, just all the things that comes with, the meat. And I'm not saying meat causes all this stuff, but meat does contribute to a large portion of why people have these health ailments. And then it's not raised, like Knowledge Seeker was saying, it's not raised, in a proper environment. I did not know even about fish. Now, I still do partake in fish, but even fish, I was reading up on that, like tilapia. I no longer eat tilapia. I didn't know a lot of this stuff is hybrid. And then on top of that, there's a such thing as sea lice. The fish can catch lice. That is disgusting. You know why? Because they keep it in such a small enclosed area with all the other fish that they don't have enough space to swim around. So this is the type of stuff that we're subjecting ourselves to because they're trying to develop enough food to feed the entire population. He said, you wish you were strong like us. You are strong, got him. I stopped for a while and then go back. It's a mind thing, got him. Like Knowledge Seeker, do you have any information of what helps you to stay clear of meat and how do you stay strong to hold on to your diet?
Well, for me, I'm just already a spiritual person. I just love like nature and animals too. And then when I really just found out, seeing the documentaries in detail of what they did do to these animals, it broke my heart. And I instantly was like, I have to change my ways. I have to change my ways. Like even the smell of meat may tempt me sometimes, but I'm like, nope, I can't do it. I have to learn. I have to have discipline and learn to eat to live. It's not about what I want. It's about what's good for my body and what's good for the animals. We have to do what's good for the animals and learn and fight to eat to live.
Absolutely. Yeah, look it up, got him. There's a such thing as sea lice where the fish they catch lice. Look it up. Like I'm not making it up. Please look it up for yourself. I found this out a few years ago as well. I thought that was disgusting. But nevertheless, I still partake in fish. I still partake. Now we're not supposed to eat shrimp because you know why? They're the bottom feeders of the ocean. So basically they clean up the waste. This is why they're so tasty. But You all, I do have a weakness for shrimp for time to time. And then lobster, I steer clear of lobster because they said that's nothing but it's related to the cockroach. You all, it's a swimming cockroach. And actually, when you look at it, it does look like a roach. So, I mean, just everything that you consume, you just got to think about what you're eating. I say it like this: if we're divine and we're made in the image of our creator and your body is your temple, then you should put those things into your body that is going to be the best thing for you to consume. Treat your body well. That's how I look at it. Nuts contains, like I said, nuts contain a lot of your protein, and when you eat nuts, you don't really get hungry as much. I thought that by me staying away from meat, I was going to lose weight. You all, I gained weight. I actually gained weight, like I really did, and I have pictures to prove it. And I did look bloated for some reason, but I think this was because I was eating so much starch. Um, People that stop eating meat tend to eat starch because you're trying to get that full feeling. So you start leaning towards potatoes. Okay, I've consumed so many potatoes, which is really not good because it is starch, and starch is it's just not good for your body. Dr. Sabi talked about that years ago. Starch and blood, we are not supposed to consume that, especially melanated people. We're supposed to be on a more alkaline diet, you all. Yes, indeed. So,
Right.
all of these things. I mean, but even with the water, I try to steer clear of like certain waters. I won't drink. Aquafina, I don't like. I don't deal with Dasani. I like alkaline water, and you can actually alkalinize your own water by putting lemon in it. I used to do that a few years ago. I'm just cognizant of little small things like that. Even like if you're going to fry food, use extra virgin olive oil. Don't use the cheap butter. You know what I'm saying? Use it's something called Earth Balance. It's like almost $5, and they sell it in the grocery store. I use that, and some people be like, I'm not going to pay $5 for butter. Well, guess what? What is $5 when you're not going to use that much butter every single day? It's worth it. So I feel that you should invest into what you put into your body and what you eat versus what you put on the outside of your body. Some people feel like they want to invest into hair weave and Jordans. I'd rather invest into like things that are going to do my body good. So I won't go to McDonald's. I might go to Panera Bread, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because it makes a difference over the grand scheme of things. If you keep doing this over the course of years, it makes a difference.
It does. It does. You're spot on. Like you're preaching to the choir, the good information.
I appreciate you. You say you love that butter, got 'em. So knowledge seeker, could you share? Do you have any recipes or anything for people that might want to switch over to the journey? What would you say that they should try? Anything that you have on your
Um,
menu?
well, it's this lifestyle is really not for everybody. I'm kind of the weirdo in my family and stuff like that. I'm with you. Shrimps was actually my weakness, though. I actually just had a shrimp like last month because I went to an event at my family's house, and they had all this food. So I was like, I'll try a couple of shrimps, and then that was it, though. But I like it's difficult though. Some days I do want to have some meat and I do want to like eat certain foods, but I have to discipline myself. It's just all about willpower. I don't touch no meats. I just have my salads and I have do my whole alkaline diet, drink the water, eat the salads, cut up tomatoes and steamed carrots and stuff like that. And that's what I my lifestyle consists of and stuff. It's it's pleasing to me. It's pleasing to me.
Look, got him. You in the you in the chat section laughing, but it's really mind over matter. And I think that's one thing that we as human beings we love our taste, our taste buds. But let me tell y'all something. It really is because I was addicted to Snickers. I don't know if I told y'all this before, but I absolutely was addicted to Snickers. You know how people have to have a cigarette in high school, I used to have to have a Snickers every single day. If I didn't have a Snickers, I didn't feel right. And so we used
Wow.
to go into, yeah, we used to, they used to break into the vending machine and I used to put my order in and I always wanted Snickers. Sometimes I would have one or two a day, a Snickers bar. So I didn't realize this, but my mother told me when she was pregnant with me That's what she used to eat, were the little miniature ones. And she used to send my daddy in the kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning and make him get a Snickers. She was like, that's why that girl likes Snickers like that. So it got to the point where I had to really depart away from eating Snickers. And it was mind over matter, knowledge seeker. And once I put my mind to it, I was able to give up that Snicker habit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't need it. What's good, LaShawn? We over here talking about eating habits and mind over matter and the power of your mind.
Oh, hey, LaShawn.
Knowledge seeker said, "Hey, LaShawn." Yeah, so LaShawn, I saw you had some good stuff on your menu. You put up like a 20-second clip. I don't know where you were. It looked like you were at a restaurant. Y'all had some good food. That food did look good because I do crave meat. I do. I be craving like chicken McNuggets and chicken wings and oh my goodness, like a burger off the grill, all this type of stuff, like pork chops, but after a while, when you don't have it, you don't really crave it. And it's like your body's going to guide you. Your body's going to tell you sometimes, like, oh, I'm craving oranges. It's probably because it's something that you're deficient in that your body needs. This is why you're craving it. So just let your body lead you all. And we got the chef in the building. What's good, LaShawn?
What
What
up,
up?
girl?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. If I sound a little spacious, I have to change my room around. I need a little bit more room because I'm dealing with my health. I'm having I got an abscess on my stomach, and just trying to have enough room so I won't rupture anything until I get my stomach drained or something.
You definitely be careful with that. Did they ever, not to get in too much into your personal business, but did they ever tell you what caused that?
I did some research on my own. It's due to like a rupture your intestines.
Hmm.
It's something
Oh,
going on down there, and it causes it. I just took my meds for it,
Yeah.
so
Was
to
it from
I'll
find,
like,
keep you in prayer.
huh?
I'll keep you in prayer, girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna be all right. I hope I'll be all right.
you will be? Oh, got him. You said, Seven said, F them lights. Can I get a seafood platter? I sure did, got him. I will get a seafood platter from time to time. I have to admit. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, that food I had, I was at a Mexican restaurant. I had a T-bone steak with some shrimps and a salad on the side.
Oh, that sounds so good. We all like
That
our
plate was
Mexican.
expensive.
It was?
That plate was expensive. But
Okay.
I managed. I had to treat myself. I treat myself every now and then.
That's what's up. Look, we have to treat ourselves in this lifetime because we only get one time, okay, in this physical body,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
this time around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
This
that's
time.
what I think. Absolutely. So definitely. And look, I just want to tell y'all there's nothing too good on this planet for you. If you have, the means to live like a king or live like a queen, do it.
Yep.
Who's to tell you that anything's too good for you? A lot of times people be like, oh, I'm not going to wear this. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to use this. This is good. I'm going to wait for company. F that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you
Hmm.
want to do something for yourself, just go ahead and do it.
Telling you now.
Exactly. I deprived so much stuff for myself growing up, and I was just like, well, this is just too expensive, and then like I don't really need that too, because well, I am 22 years old too. But I saw this toy on Amazon that I've always wanted from my childhood. I didn't get it for my birthday that particular year, but then guess what? I bought it because I have the money for it though. Like, and I know I am grown, but I'm like, you know what? I didn't have it when I was a kid, so I'm fulfilling my dream right now. Like, you only live once. Do what you gotta do to make yourself happy in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Got him said, what's up, Sean?
Tell I got him. I said, "What's up?"
Yep, you know what? And even if it's a little simple things in life, blow bubbles, get a coloring book and crayons, I don't care, y'all. Like it's the simple
Right.
things sometimes in life, you know what I'm saying, that you find pleasure and joy in.
It's the simple things for me,
Mm-hmm.
cause
Like,
my my girl the same way. It's the simple things for her just as well as me. It's the simple things for me. Like me and her got the same life path number, which is a 6.
mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's very interesting. You know.
Yes, it is.
So
Yes, it is.
oh yeah, yeah. Because it's just a simple thing for me. I'm not a very high pricey person. I could be, but no, me just as long as my rent is paid and everything is out the way and I got food in the house and stuff, I'm good. I'm good. I'm content with that.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you got your toy knowledge, Seeker.
Thank you.
And I just want to say this too, because they always have sold us this quote unquote American dream with the white picket fence, this, and that. But actually, do you know who really lives the American dream?
The
Who?
rich people,
The foreigners,
yep, them too.
the migrators, the immigrants. Not to be, I don't want to be politically incorrect, but most of them get to come over here and live well.
Yeah,
Well, because a
And
lot of
that's
them got long credit from their country. They come in here, take their currency from their country and translate it to American dollars and American bills, and so they're able to live comfortably than regular people when they come here.
right, right.
But also, I want to say this, like, I remember back in the day when we didn't have as much and we were content, we were happy, peaceful, and carefree. And those were the good days. And we didn't want for all this material stuff. It's really marketed to Americans to be like consumers. And when you go to other countries or you speak to people from other countries, they don't need or require as much to be content and happy. They're just happy with their families. So
Right,
that's just something to think about.
right. And then I feel like America don't even treat its own citizens right.
At
That's
all.
how I feel like we
I
don't get
mean,
right.
now you go, LaShawn.
Oh, I was finishing up. I was just saying we don't get treated right. I mean, if we did, things won't occur. But
It's just the fact a lot of other countries they're very family oriented. Like it's a huge like family thing in other countries, but in America they are anti-family out here though. Anything that's considered normal, anything that's considered like good for healthy, we're against it. We're against it. They're anti-family out here.
Yeah. And I remember back, I don't know if y'all remember this, but back when I was little going to school, we used to come to school. They used to make us say the Pledge of Allegiance. And really, I didn't realize back then that that was a form of indoctrination, because we're pledging allegiance to a flag that really doesn't stand for us. Okay. And then the things that they made us say in that Pledge of Allegiance, they don't really stand for that, right? Because it's I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, individual, for liberty and justice for all. There's no justice for all. Show us
nope.
the justice for all. It's really sad that I can remember that to this day because it's been so indoctrinated into my head.
Oh my God, that is so true. Well, they actually stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance, like I think in 2015, 2016.
Mhm.
But I remember that to the bone when I was a kid. I did that every day. Even when I ran for class rep or something like that, I got to speak in the little microphone, and the entire school can hear me as I led people to the Pledge of Allegiance. And I thought that was such a huge accomplishment. But like they were really like telling like that's a cult mindset though. Pledge allegiance to a
Mhm.
flag, United States of America, and all that nonsense. That's bull crap. That's
Right?
kind of like what Hitler did. That's kind of Nazi Germany.
It really is. We didn't realize back then in elementary school because we were so young and impressionable. So we just did what the teacher said. We put our right hand over our heart. We had to stand up, look up at the flag before the school bell rang. And if you did not do it, you would get in trouble.
I
And
know I
when
did.
You did, Sean?
Yep, I didn't want to, cause when I was young, I always had it in my mind. Why is I'm doing this? Like, why we
Mhm.
keep doing this? Like, is this serving a purpose? Is this like why is we doing this?
Right. Well, Sean, you would be classified as what they call, what do they call the people that are, is it like an indigo child?
What you mean?
Have you ever heard of that? So, like, it's like the special people that they're like rebellious souls. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm being honest with you. I'm very rebellious. I don't like to be told what to do. I hate being told what to do. Especially for some strangers. I don't like nobody telling me what to do. Now if somebody advising me to do, like if somebody advising me on good things, yeah, I listen. But if I feel like you trying to be a dictator over my life, no, I don't like nobody I don't want nobody dictating over my life.
Absolutely, I can understand that. And I don't like to be dictated either. I remember back in school, I didn't like my gym teacher. She was real bossy. I didn't like the way she spoke to us. And Gotham, you said Ukrainians are about to live the American dream. Ooh, how so? How so? How is that? I'm curious,
I
y'all.
like the background.
Hmm?
I like
Hmm?
your
About to be a new form of racism? Oh my goodness. Y'all, they keep this race thing going, don't they? This race war.
It's money to be made, and it's. Let me tell you, white people, if you listen to this, don't be racist to black people. You're not benefiting out of it. If it's anything, they benefiting out of it. Not, I mean, racism is very pointless. It really is. It's beneficial because they can make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big scam.
Preach.
Church scam.
Oh yes. Don't
Prison
get don't
scam.
I'm telling you, don't get me started.
Really, our whole society is a scam. If you ask me.
It is. It like I was saying earlier, the American dream. This is a who came up with this dream? Okay, and that's why they call it a dream because that's what it is. They painted that dream for us. We didn't paint that dream for ourselves. What if
Mm-mm.
everybody doesn't want the dream and the image they push into our subconscious? Some
Right.
people are happy just living on the land. Some people don't want to live in a big mansion.
Right.
They're happy just being free.
Right. I'm
Well,
more.
oh, you go, LaShawn.
Go ahead, Daniel. I was gonna say the American dream for me is everybody. We don't pay rent. We grow our own crops and get back to the bartering system. That's my American dream.
I like that dream.
And not to we got to stop condoning violence and hatred because that's what's going on now and it's oversaturated in this society. And I feel like this world is unbalanced. I feel like it's very unbalanced and very unstable because we don't have a balance. We got to know when to have a balance on certain things. Like black people, I just been on YouTube. I just been seeing a lot of our elders acting stupid.
Say that.
They sitting here clout chasing and doing all this crazy stuff. Man, you 56 years old, man. Go sit down somewhere, man.
Right.
You over here trying to clout chase, man. Leave that to them kids to do that.
Right.
Then when you say something, they want to get mad and make a video on you. Like, I don't give a fuck. Long as you don't do that to me, we cool. You can make a video. Thanks for the free promotion, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We got the black people, we got the heal. We need a healing. We need to love one another. Because it's a warfare going on among us black people. See, these elites, they know what they're doing. This has been planned and scripted for us to go against each other because we kill each other off real fast. They don't have to do the work. They ain't got to do all the dirty work. We doing it to each other.
I
Mm-hmm.
was just thinking that they don't have to instigate. I mean, like, do any of this like New World Order crap or like wipe us out. We could do it ourselves because we hate each other.
There you go.
Everybody hates each other.
There you go.
Yeah. And it's so interesting that you both brought that up because that's actually a part of Behold a Pale Horse. It's further in the book. I don't even think we touched on that part yet, but he talks about that. And so if William Cooper, which is a Caucasian, saw
Mhm.
this many, many, many years ago, then why is it we can't see that today? Because people are so caught up in, oh, you're white, you're black, we don't like each other. But it's deeper than that, y'all. Like, if people really just came together and went up against these elite, do you understand how powerful we would be right now?
Telling you. And we got to stop worshiping that dollar because long as you worship that dollar, long as you worship money, is going to be valuable on this in this society. We stop worshiping that shit and just say, you know what, to hell with y'all fucking money. We're gonna build our own crops and do what we need to do when we need to do. We're gonna survive. I bet you these motherfuckers ain't gonna survive because they ain't gonna have no more power over us. The power over us is the money because we in a capitalism society.
Yep.
I know, because the dollar has no value. They can just put all the money they want, but we feed the money. We feed the everything. So as long as we keep feeding everything, it's not going to stop. The tyranny is not going to stop.
Right. But it's kind of hard because everybody is caught up in stupid shit. You know, we can starve these people we want to because if you think about it, these elites, the Freemasons or whatever you want to call them, all it is a bunch of narcissists.
They sick. Got him said. You see how they treated the black Ukrainians? Now they about to bring they ass over here, getting our benefits, and look down on the melanated people here.
Well,
Oh goodness, got him. It's craziness.
I just hope they don't disrespect me because what I be going through lately, I really be hoping nobody don't cross that path because I'm just not feeling it. And I'm not finna let nobody that's foreign come in this country and talk to me crazy. I had enough. Look, enough is enough.
I'm with
I'm
you
not
on
finna
that.
be talking crazy, dude. I'm not finna be sitting here getting. We done been through a lot, black people in America. I be damn, I'm finna sit here and let some foreigners disrespect me. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, and you have that right to feel that way. You're indigenous to this land. This is
Right.
actually your land. Now, remember back in elementary school, they said this land is your land. This land is my land. This land was made for you and me. From California to the New York Island, there's a Gulf Stream water. Really, they were talking about us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They were talking about the indigenous people of this land, which are the Native Americans. We were already here.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
feel what you're saying, Gotham. Like nobody should have the chance or the right to come over here and look down on us, the melanated people, because really we should have everything because all of this belongs to us in the first place.
Right. So
Which it
for
all.
Bill,
Sorry, you go.
Bill Gates and everybody else, y'all got to go. Cause we to be honest, if you really want to know how we really feel about y'all be packing y'all shit up and leaving us the fuck alone. You can go, Daniel.
Yes, I know that's right. And I don't know what's going on with him anyway, because I haven't seen him. I haven't heard from him. Is B Gates around anywhere? Where is he hiding in one of his bunkers somewhere right now?
Probably so, cause
He has over a dozen lawsuits against him from foreign countries and around here in America.
oh
Is
yeah,
that right?
mm-hmm. Hiding out. You
Yeah,
right?
he hiding in the bunkers.
Bill Gates is a dirty. Well, I'm gonna say Billy Goat. Billy Goat is a dirty motherfucker that I wouldn't trust with my own. Look, if I have to trust, who would I trust over Billy Goat? Man, I trust a crackhead with my life. I can't trust Billy Goat. Mm-mm.
Oh
As
God.
long as you get a crackhead $20, you good. Billy Goat ass, I don't trust none of them motherfuckers.
Got him said facts. United is better and create our own currency and products. Absolutely right. Like we used to do. You know what I'm saying? We had the bartering system. Who are the ones that introduced us to this genetic currency anyway? We already know who that was.
Masons.
The colonizer.
Yep. AKA Mason.
He said trading hoods and trading goods. That's right. We had the bartering system. We were all good over here. You know what I'm saying? Until they infiltrated and introduced us into this dollar, which we know it doesn't have any value, and tricked us. They tricked us out of our coins and everything, y'all. Out of our gold, out of our land. They swindled us. They swindled our great grandparents. And I talk about this a lot. I'd be like, y'all know how many people in your family, you always hear this story about how they had acres and acres of land because this happened in my family. And it happened in your family too. And they got swindled out of it. The land got taken from them.
Right. And I hate that happened. But I got my peoples in the country. They got their own land, so
Yeah.
if I ain't go down, I can just go up there. But I'm just saying, like, man, we got to be more careful, man. These folks, they some slick talkers now. They some slick talkers on the TV. And then for the news channels ain't no good, man.
No,
I
it's
don't get how
not.
people can watch the news. The news is trash right now. The news is just garbage. I don't get how people can sit there and watch that for hours a day.
What's good, Charles? Where you been at?
Oh,
Charles is in the building.
I ain't heard of Charles in 60 years, man.
Charles said they still swindling us. And he said, "What's up, LaShawn?"
What up, Charles?
You know, Charles been dealing with, he got a little one. You know, he had the newborn.
Yeah. I had a little one, Charles. I just got through seeing a little one. My little niece.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, she was dancing and stuff. She was 7 months today. And I just spent time with her. She put a smile on my face.
Charles said, "What's up? Got him." You dealing with working the baby? Okay. What's up, Pastor Charles? She's killing you. Of course she is. I know she's just as spoiled as she can be.
Babies are beautiful.
Yes, they are. They're so pure.
They are blessing.
Oh yeah. They're so innocent and pure and beautiful. Sometimes I hate that they just around all this right now. I really do.
But this is the thing. The best thing we can do is what we're doing is just educate them with the knowledge. It's never too early to really, tell them the truth, because I just don't understand why we were told about the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and all these things that didn't make sense.
It's full of malarkey, man. I stopped believing in Santa Claus when I turned 7 years old.
You did.
I had looked out the room. My grandma said, "Go in the back." So I was just curious. I said, let me go ahead and look out here and see what's going on. Let me see if Santa Claus really giving them the gift. Man, I went in that front room. They was packing the gifts. So
For real.
Oh my goodness! I said, "Damn, they got me."
I would have been like, Santa just wants me to help him out because he's busy, y'all.
That's how I look. What's that? Man, look. But if you put two and two together, how can one man deliver all those presents
Right.
across the world? That don't even make sense in one day. One day.
Exactly. And if you don't have a chimney, how is he getting into your apartment?
That part. What do you think this through?
You go bust in that window.
I think as a child, we all question that narrative.
Yeah, then he too fat to go down the chimney anyway. So that's another red flag right there.
And we should not be sitting on a man in a red fat suit anyway. Why are we sitting in his lap?
See, that's pedophilia right there.
It is.
I'm trying to talk about that, but that's P-gate.
Oh yeah, that's right. Gotham said it's the spell work. They letting you know it has no value, but we think it has value. That's right. That's right. Whatever you feed your energy to.
It's to keep us at a low vibration. And you got people out here killing folks for money, man. Like, come on, man. Y'all only know the value to the American dollar. It ain't worth shit. It ain't worth nothing.
The most powerful thing, you all, is your energy and your mind. This is why they always attacking our minds. Why do you think they always want our energy and our attention? You know what I'm saying? They got us on these jobs and doing all of this stuff. So we don't have time to sit and think, okay? Because if we think about the truth and how this stuff doesn't make sense, then we don't have to acquiesce to the nonsense. And they can't afford to let that happen. This is why they after the children's minds from the time that we're in school to the time that we graduate to the time that we get on the jobs. Don't even get me started with the Rockefellers. And I found out, somebody was saying this the other day, that the Rockefellers, I think they're funding some part of YouTube as well.
Wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised.
Well, yeah. And this YouTube don't do nothing about these old messy ass motherfuckers on here. But let me and you talk what we talking about now. Oh, they hurry up and get rid of our channel.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But you know why, right? because they want to keep the nonsense going. They want to push the nonsense. Just look at Love and Hip Hop and all these other shows that perpetuates a negative narrative. Those shows get pushed into the forefront, but like you don't hear about the Cosby Show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like all the family shows that showed a healthy household. We don't see those
Mhm.
shows anymore. So of course they're not going to push positive channels talking about knowledge. Of course not.
Right, because they know if people start waking up rapidly, if it's a whole bunch of people waking up, these folks is not going to be in power too long because everybody going to demand these people to step out of power, to step down because
It's a controlled environment.
huh?
It's all about a controlled environment.
Yeah, and like I said, I do not like being told what to do. So
Well, you're a
Thanks,
rebel.
Charles.
yeah, I'm very rebellious. My mama don't even tell me what to do. She already. I mean, I don't disrespect my mama now. I just tell her, look, mama, I don't want to hear it. I just right now it's not the time. I just be respectful as I can against my mom. But when it comes to an outsider, you don't tell me what the fuck to do. Is you paying my rent? Or no, is you feeding me? No, is you clothing me? No, well, you don't tell me the fuck what to do. Pay my rent, then you can tell me what to do.
Sean, you something else. But yeah, like I mean, just think about how they want to keep us all dependent on the government for our food, for our water, for our, like everything that you can think of. This is why they want us to be our food supply, because if we're dependent on them for the basic fundamental things that we need for life, then we're gonna feel
Right.
like, oh, we need the government. You know what I mean? As soon as you
Really
start
don't need it.
we don't. And as soon as you start growing your own crops, you all, years ago, they were going through people's yards telling them that they could not grow a garden.
Man, look at them folk crazy. Man, you get up out of my yard. I'm like,
Yeah.
I own this.
Mhm. Charles said they become God at that point. Absolutely right. You feel like, oh, I need the government. You don't. You really don't. We just need to be more self-dependent, you all. And this is another thing. Like, I don't believe in the school system because who came up with that? The Rockefellers.
Came out with what?
The school system.
Yeah, that bullshit. I ain't got time for that school system.
You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
schools are just mentally grooming everybody when they graduated to become part of the society and BS like that. That's all schools are there for.
And no offense to the trans males, to the men that dress as trans women, but I just don't trust that going into school system because it is a rumor that these people that call it, they pretend like they transgender just to be pedophiles to get around these kids. I've been hearing that rumor.
That's scary.
Oh, I should share with y'all a story I read like a few months back. It's pretending what LaShawn just said, and the fact is, it was interesting when I heard the story. I'm like, how come Law and Order hasn't made an episode about that? But anyway, this 9-year-old kid was claiming to be transgender. He was like, I'm a woman now, so let me go into the girls' bathroom, and the school had no choice but to obey the rules and stuff like that. This is actually in the UK. But then a year later, they all found out that he was molesting the girls in the girls' bathroom. So he pretended to be transgender just to mess with the girls in the girls' bathroom. They didn't find it out until a year later because girls were like telling their parents this is what was going on. And I'm like, wow. And nobody talked about it.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yep.
Got him. Look, I don't know why YouTube keeps blocking your messages. Got him said fat ass coming down the chimney, but let alone going back up to the roof. Talking about Santa Claus, y'all. She said weird ass.
Man, Santa Claus ass can't get up down that chimney if he wanted to. Big his ass is. Oh, you know what? We've been lied to. I admit I felt for it when I was young, but now that I'm older, not again. Never again. Not even in the next lifetime. I'll make sure I remember that part.
Yeah, the most powerful thing we can do is what we're doing now, and that's coming together and unifying. And then also, getting to the youth, like from babies on up, because like you think about it, they're trying to take over our minds from the time we come out of the womb.
Yep. That's how they get us.
Hmm.
That's how they get us. That's why it's best to seek. Well, it's in my chart to seek knowledge anyway, so I just seek knowledge. I guess it's the Gemini in me or something like that. I don't know.
Look, it's just in you. I don't care who you are. Gemini, I got Gemini in my chart too. But this is common sense. The creator gave us a brain for a reason. Not to use it would be crazy.
Right. Oh, I'm using this motherfucker. I'm gonna use it until I die.
That's right.
Cause they ain't finna get me.
That's right. And actually, we are trained not to think. If you really think about it, because school teaches you how to think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, y'all, critical thinking. And the thing is, if you don't choose the answer that they tell you should select, how is that wrong? Because I don't understand. Even up until college, you all, I felt slow. I was the last one to take my freaking test. I had to come back and retest. And I'm like, I know I'm not stupid. I've never failed at anything I've done. But even in college, it was like a critically thinking class, and was like analytical and stuff. And maybe the way that my mind works is not the way that everybody else's mind works. And the way that you say the answers are is not the way that I think the answer should be. So I had to retest on it. I passed. But my whole thing is, who made you tell us what's right and what's wrong when we're critically thinking about something? Everybody's not going to think the same. So who came up with this nonsense? I don't understand it.
Right. I mean, we've been getting. I mean, it's this system. Right now, they're finna tear down and build another system, but this system been constructed to enslave our minds.
Yes.
Because if we can get the mass population to be very illiterate, we can always stay in power. Promote them unhealthy eating, unhealthy lifestyles, unhealthy television shows, pollute their mind with bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just to the point, I don't watch certain television. If I watch television shows, and like I said, I watch the stuff that we talked about on the last live, like Moesha, old stuff, old stuff. That's what I watch. I don't watch this new stuff. It's garbage. It don't serve me no purpose by watching it. I don't get no laughter out of it. Who wants to watch Love and Hip Hop and see these beautiful black women beat up on each other? I'm not gonna watch all that, man. It's stupid.
Right.
And guess who owns all those networks that perpetuate lots of black people ignorance and like don't portray us in a good light? It's all the Jays. The Jays, they own those networks.
Them Jays.
Them Jays, y'all.
You gotta be careful,
say their actual name.
About to cop them Jays, y'all.
they can call us all sorts of names, but we can't call them no names. You see,
right?
That's why I don't respect these people. And be careful for y'all McDonald's eaters. Stop eating McDonald's.
Oh, I don't mess with them McNuggets. I know what's in those McNuggets. We know what's in the McNuggets.
Next time my name come up, put some respect on it, okay?
Heck yeah.
Gotham said they find children with no guidance, groom, and they make them famous or an influencer. Yes, they do. All the rappers basically are like that.
And it's an illusion. You just can't get in the industry like that. You have to, you handpick to be in the industry. You just don't get in there just like, oh, my voice is beautiful. I'm going to the industry. It's either you handpicked or you got to sacrifice somebody.
Do y'all think they will let a woman like Cardi B have all this power and fame and fortune? She was picked for this. Someone in her family had ties to these elite people, and she was selected to be a part of this whole bopping agenda.
There you go.
So I got very offended, and I shouldn't have gotten offended. But basically, like when she started speaking about politics, I said, hold the freak up. F your feelings. But for real, she's the last person that I need speaking on my behalf about some politics.
I mean, all she do is talk about popping pussy and sucking dick.
So what
Dang, I like you, boy. You give it to us. You give us
right?
Great, man.
Yeah, got them noticed mostly of, yeah, they be homeless. So they find people that are in dire straits off the street. So they know that these people are going to basically sacrifice themselves just for some money. And the money that they give them is really not worth their souls.
It's not. And oh, another thing. These people that claim to have all this money and be very rich, these rappers, they not what they say they are. They not really that rich. They
At
not.
all. At
They,
all.
None of these celebrities are as rich as they are. I mean, as they be flossing.
right. All that money they be holding up in their pictures, that's that record label money. Don't ever let them folks think they riding around with all them fucking man, all them stacks of man, that's the record label money. Them folks, man, them niggas be capping on y'all. Y'all better stop, man. I'm like, oh, he holding up his record label money again.
Gotham says she barely speak English. But yeah, that record label money, you look, the next time I see somebody freaking holding money up to their ear, I just can't, y'all.
Record label money.
I can't.
You niggas think they slick, but nigga, who would ride around with all that money on them like that? Bro, you're an easy target. Man, that's your record label money, man.
And then they renting all the stuff that you see them with.
Right. Renting all that stuff. And then lying to me, yeah, nigga, my shit. Man, look.
The
Go
gold
sit down.
chains, the jewelry.
Go
Right,
sit down.
man. Fuck, nigga, weak as hell. I ain't know where to be riding around with that type of money. My shit would be in the bank. And I just let it sit in there. I won't be riding around with all that. Now if I was rich, I ride at least with $2,000 in my pocket. You know, just spending money. I'll probably ride about $5,000 in my pocket. But I ain't finna ride around with $200,000 in my fucking car. Like that's stupid.
Dumb.
Man, it's a lot of rappers. Like where I'm from, it's a rapper named Lil Lummy. Lil Lunny, he got killed down here. It's a lot of man. Look,
But a lot of rappers honestly are not all getting their money from rapping. They're doing other business deals on
selling
the side.
drugs, selling drugs.
They're doing other stuff, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
They could be doing that, but some of them are actually doing, like endorsement deals. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are invested into real estate. I know what's the guy out in Texas? Slim Thug really is
Chameleonaire.
into real
Chameleonaire. Chameleonaire.
chameleonaire too.
I think because he invests his money. I think it's Chameleonaire.
Who's the one from Houston? Got him. You probably knew who I'm talking about.
Let me see. I'm finna pull him up.
She said OnlyFans. Who's they doing OnlyFans? Got them. I think they are. Celebrities are doing OnlyFans.
I think they are.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to watch that shit.
Who wants to see them on OnlyFans? Not I, said the duck.
Weirdos. Like, we ain't gonna point no elbows, but we ain't gonna say this person's name, but we know who will be doing. Spending all their OnlyFans money. Like, bruh, ain't no one finna watch no OnlyFans of Young Pharaoh. Man, get out of here, man.
Oh, that's disgusting. I don't think anybody want to see that.
You got some people, man, look, you got some weirdos out here, I'm telling you. There's some weirdos out here. You know something though? Chameleonaire, I think he is a realtor. Either him or Slim Thug. It's one of the two.
Yeah, got him said Slim Thug, Bun B, and Chameleonaire. So yeah, Slim Thug is the one that I remember, and I recall that he actually bought a whole his whole thing was he was going to build a neighborhood. I remember him talking about it on the radio some years ago. Oh, he has a construction company. That's what's up.
Who, Chameleonaire?
Slim Thug. Yeah. So I mean that's a smart business move because think about it, y'all. If you can buy a whole freaking slab of land and then take that and break it down into some lots and then sell those individual lots and build something on it, you've basically probably quadrupled your money, right? You've basically just made millions of dollars.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. But I didn't know.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the higher you is in the industry, the higher paid. Like the higher the pay is in the industry, if you know like Jay-Z type of pay, the deep you is into that masonry shit in the Illuminati.
I just don't have any. Let me just be quiet. You
I
said
can't
that.
do no stuff like that. I don't know if I don't know if it's the Leo in me or what, but it is not that it's not worth all that money is not worth you selling out your whole community of people. It's just not worth it.
I mean, but when you're a greedy person and you're a selfish person, to some people, it's worth it, Sean.
You know what? You is right about that.
I was gonna say that, yeah. It's appealing to people.
Hmm.
You right about that.
Yeah, that is the American dream, Gotham. I
What?
mean, basically to take your money invested into a construction company,
Oh yeah.
and I mean, that's all. That's residual money all day. I mean, you
Heck
don't
yeah.
even have to do anything. You don't have to work. And that's one thing that I wish more. They don't teach this in school. Especially to our melanated people, they don't teach us a whole lot of stuff. Like we don't know about a lot of things until we get older.
Yeah, that's how it seems with us melanated people. It's only when we get older that's when we
I
can
mean,
like.
homeschool your kids. I think especially just homeschool your kids nowadays.
It's powerful. It's power into homeschooling. But a lot of people, they send their children to school because they think the school is supposed to be a daycare center. Unfortunately. So
Which
everything,
basically is.
yeah, everything is not the teacher's job to teach your children. The teacher can enhance it and help your children, but it's the parent's responsibility to really make sure your child grasps the concept. You shouldn't leave all of it in the hands of a teacher.
Right,
This is my
right.
my personal opinion, y'all. But look, we have been on here for 2 hours and 22 minutes. Shout out to the 222s, y'all.
Uh,
Mhm.
Oh, did y'all do anything special for 444 March? What was it? April 4th, 2022?
I guess I was gaming. I don't know. I sometimes I don't pay attention to these things because I be having I just be having my own little problems. I'm
Yeah,
trying to take care of my health, But the good thing was I had a good day. I mean,
I
that
love it. Wonderful. Shout out to Gotham. Thank you for sticking around. Shout out to
God,
Sean and
God don't support me
Anonymity.
no more. I see you, God. I see you, God. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Look, Gotham been in bliss over there, okay? She been busy.
Yeah, I've been seeing her. Yeah, I've been seeing her. God, you got you got a little boot thing over there. Oh, you love boot thing, that girl.
Yeah. But y'all, I have enjoyed y'all. Thank you so much for coming up. Peace to you too, Gotham.
I'm finna go live in a minute.
All right, I'm gonna check you out too.
I think I might go over there too. You about to go game, LaShawn?
Yep.
All right. Y'all going over there and check you out before I hop on my PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah, I done got hungry. Oh my God.
Shoot. You
I
think
want
eat on good?
Man, I gotta find something else to eat up in here. I've been cooking.
I wish I had.
Oh, huh?
I wish I had y'all metabolism. I could just eat up everything and I gain a pound.
Sean, this ain't no fun. Like I'll be waking up in the middle of the night going straight to the kitchen. Like it's too much. It's crazy.
Oh man, y'all got it made. You and Soul and y'all got it made, man.
I don't even know if this is healthy for the metabolism to be this freaking high.
I don't know. All I know is, look, I'm seeing now. I know what to eat now. I know to eat my food grilled and stuff. I can eat what I just can't eat a lot of fried food because I'm a cholesterol patient, and I got to constantly drink tea to keep my
Hmm.
blood flowing. Because when your blood don't flow like it's
Hmm.
supposed to, you more susceptible to gaining weight too.
Okay.
So you have to
Well,
keep it going.
I think I have a cholesterol issue. I've always had it. And basically it's something that runs in the family, and you have to be careful with that, especially when you're thin like I am, because I don't know if you remember, but Eddie Griffin had a heart attack.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
very small. And they said the reason for it is because all the stuff that built up in his body didn't really have anywhere to go. This is what they said anyway. So it doesn't really matter your size. It's really about how healthy you are. So like when you see people working out at the gym, like they look at me like, why are you in the gym? It's not so much to lose weight. I'm in there trying to gain muscle for one thing. I lift
Right.
weights. And then it's more so for my cholesterol level to go down, because when you work out, that helps your cholesterol. And then you can also take, what is it, the omega 3, I believe it's called, for
Yeah,
the cholesterol.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I need to start taking too.
I hate the way it tastes. Like, I think I'm doing it wrong because
Is it fish pills or something? Some
yes,
type
the
of
fish
oil?
yes, it's fishy. And like, I don't know if I was supposed to chew them, but they're I was the capsules, man. It was squirting in my mouth. I was like, oh, I gotta go brush my teeth. And that fish smell,
Yeah,
I couldn't get that fish taste out of my mouth. And my mother
yeah,
was like, I think you're supposed to swallow them. I don't think you're supposed to chew it.
right.
Yeah, I'm
Now you
slow.
know, if seafood wasn't so goddamn gone high,
Right.
I give it for my seafood diet. I'm serious, man. I be in this thing eating my shrimpies with my
Mm.
fishies.
Well, you know, seafood is extremely high in sodium, so just be careful with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm glad you told me that.
Uh-huh. I love seafood too, but it's not good for my diet either. So just be careful. Eat
Oh,
I
in
miss that
moderation.
like once a month. Probably. I only miss that like once a month.
once a
Yeah.
month.
Hmm. All right, you all. Thank you so much. And I'll catch y'all next time on F Your Feelings Friday.
It's Friday.
No. Tomorrow.
Oh, oh, okay.
Tomorrow,
I
Sean.
see you then. You just post the link in the chat, and I'll go back in the chat and click the link and watch it.
Oh, definitely. I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. We're finna go live.
Bye, everyone.
All
All
right,
right.
Knowledge Seeker. All right, Chef the Don. Thank y'all for coming up.
Okay.
All right. Y'all, I forgot to give my testimony. My bad. So, what do we want our testimony to be? The fact that we're still here, okay? The fact that we are still here, y'all, because every day is a fight. All my life, I've had to fight, y'all. And I am not talking about the color purple. I mean this for real. I've been fighting for a very long time, but yet and still, we're still here. So, that is my testimony. Peace and blessings to you all. Until next time.